There was a big shift in everything that's happening on the show, something bigger than all of the deaths and arrivals that we saw. The switch that we saw in last night's episode was the focus from individuals surviving to humanity surviving. The first 2 episodes have been all about the individuals in the outpost and which individuals were going to survive. But last night, most of those individuals were killed. And if we look at the storylines that were presented to us in the episode, we saw a shift from individual survival to the survival of humanity. And what we also saw was that the apocalypse is no joke. It is brutal. We saw a lot of death last night. We got our first glimpse at survivors on the outside. Their lives are brutal. They've been reduced to cannibalism. And what we can see with all this death is people are not only now surviving a fallout from a nuclear bomb, but now people need to survive a world that is in danger of losing humanity. Because when there is no humanity in people, the world becomes a much more dangerous place to survive. Venable really highlights what's going on in the episode when she starts talking about what they should be grateful for, and she mentions that they should be grateful for the walls that are keeping their humanity safe within the outpost. Because Venable realizes that in order to survive out in the world right now, much like we see with Brock, you have to leave your humanity behind. Hey, I'm G, and this is the G-Spot. When Venable and Meade enter Langdon's room, this is the first time Venable really pounds her cane around Langdon. He tells Venable congratulations. He's proud of Venable because she shows no sign of humanity. It was interesting for Venable because she actually finally got what she wanted. Langdon let her know that he was willing to take her to the sanctuary now, that she passed the test, but Venable blows it. She feels that she has the upper hand on Langdon right now, and you should never feel that way with Langdon. I was so excited to see Brock return, I really didn't know if he would be back. When Brock arrives in this episode, it's not a huge shock to see him acting the way he is. He is a survivor, and things are harsh outside. Brock is not the same person that he used to be. Brock doesn't seem to have much of a person left inside of him. When we see him and Coco alone in the room, he barely says anything to her, but there's no connection to their previous relationship. There's no emotion coming out of Brock, except as Coco identifies, anger. I was left wondering if Langdon had anything to do with Brock killing Coco. And I say that because in seeing how smoothly Brock was able to accomplish this and how coldly he accomplished it, it does leave me to wonder if Langdon was somehow helping Brock out. Langdon's goal is to wipe humanity out. Langdon is looking for people who lack humanity. After Venable's killed, we get the big scene between Langdon and Meade and find out the details of their history, like that Langdon had Meade made for him. Langdon comes the closest to showing emotions in this scene with Meade. Langdon is attached to something that is not human, something with no humanity inside it, because Langdon does not like humanity. We know that Langdon sees everything that goes on in the outpost, and there was a question in my mind as to how powerful is Langdon, but we got some answers to that when he was talking to Dinah and Mallory. When he's talking to Dinah, they somehow know each other. She says, "You know that I'm not powerful enough to stand in your way." And this is a really interesting statement, because although Dinah is not powerful enough to stand in Langdon's way, that she said that means that there are things that are powerful enough to stand in Langdon's way. And then we eventually see, a few minutes later, that Mallory is able to knock Langdon right down. There are threats to Langdon in this world. We then see that he asks his father for eyes so he can see, because he has found another one. He thought he destroyed them all, but there's one more left. and he's talking about Mallory, but he doesn't identify what Mallory is. It's unlikely that he's talking about witches. He could be talking about witches. We also got to see Langdon remove his human face, and we saw his demon identity. Mead talked about her lack of humanity. Even though she doesn't have any humanity inside her, that she's been programmed to act like she does. Mead's memories reinforce her programming. They reinforce what her purpose is. Langdon gave Mead 3 memories, help her be comfortable with her programming to serve Langdon. And we also see Mead is basically questioning, what is humanity? Rules that we're programmed to follow? Or is humanity something greater than this? And she questions it because she's a robot, but there's signs of humanity in her. We can also see how this played out with Mallory and wondering what is inside Mallory and is it even human? We see Mallory say several times throughout the episode that she doesn't know who she is. Langdon says that he sees a very powerful darkness inside of Mallory. And then we saw that Mallory is very powerful, even though she's completely unaware of it. And then the fantastic ending with Cordelia, Madison, and Myrtle entering the outpost looking for their sisters. But this ending raised a lot of questions. Why aren't the witches affected by radiation? Who is Mallory again comes up because I don't associate the witch's power with darkness. There's one possible explanation, which is the witches are not who we think they are. And so when we see Madison say to Mallory, I bet you never thought you'd see me again, this isn't necessarily Madison talking to another person. We can't really be certain who either of these people are. We can't necessarily be certain that they're humans. I do think we can be certain that Madison was not talking to Mallory. Madison was not talking to Coco's assistant. Madison was talking to whoever's trying to crawl their way out of Mallory. What we're watching is about more than individual survival. What we're now watching is the war is against humanity. We're seeing if humanity is going to be able to survive this apocalypse. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to like and share it if you did. I will be posting another video on the theme of this episode later in the week. The theme of this episode was something like identity. I'm not exactly sure, but it was something close to identity. And I'm hoping that maybe there's some clues to Mallory's identity within the theme. I will get to the bottom of that and have a video on it posted at the end of the week. If you want to be sure to see that video and all the videos I upload about the apocalypse, go ahead, subscribe, and ding the bell. You will be alerted every time I upload a video. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.